Terry Rozier wasn't supposed to be that headline. Flashy scorer, designer fits, the guy who made Scary Terry a brand. But in late October, that name flipped into something darker. IRS liens, gambling arrests, and a league suspension that hit like a gut punch. The news didn't leak gradually. It detonated. One morning, fans woke to a Reuters alert. Rozier, facing an $8 million tax lien, was now under federal review for possible ties to a sports betting ring. Within hours, his name disappeared from team graphics, and the NBA quietly confirmed administrative leave without pay. No press conference. No apology. Just silence and a headline that suggested everything had already collapsed behind the scenes. People started piecing the timeline backward. Lavish parties, sudden cash bursts, cryptic captions about pressure and fake love. What looked like confidence might have been panic disguised as swagger. The lifestyle didn't stop when the money got tight. It accelerated. And that's when the cracks started showing. To the public, it felt as though the perfect mask had finally fallen off. The high-end cars, the brand collaborations, the private jets. None of it hinted at a player drowning in debt and federal paperwork. The reveal wasn't just financial, it was psychological. A man was trying to keep the image alive while the system quietly circled his accounts. And when the league stepped in, it wasn't just about betting. It was about trust, image, control. Everything Rozier once embodied, discipline, edge, independence, flipped into a cautionary emblem of excess and silence. But that's not all. 8 million. That number hit like a punch. The IRS lien wasn't some quiet accountant error. It was a public notice of collapse. Court filings showed Rozier allegedly failed to report multiple income streams from endorsements, appearance fees, and limited edition merch drops. Reports claim at least 2 years of unpaid federal taxes. What made it worse? Those filings were sitting open for months before anyone caught it. Fans started digging through posts, pointing out the timing. Rozier was still flashing $100,000 watches and jet trips to the Bahamas during the same window the lien was filed. Financial analysts referred to it as career negligence. Others saw it as someone too deep in the lifestyle to hit pause. Then came the twist. Rumors suggested part of the missing money might have flowed through consulting ventures that never existed on paper. Sources close to the investigation hinted at shell accounts under friends' names. Nothing proven, but enough smoke to turn suspicion into obsession. Teammates reportedly knew something was off. Late paybacks, odd conversations about quick flips, and tension with his inner circle over money management. One source claimed Rozier dismissed warnings, saying he had lawyers for that SHD. By the time the lien surfaced, those lawyers had already gone silent. The fallout wasn't just financial. It was reputational. Endorsement reps began reviewing contracts. Tax specialists on sports networks turned his name into a case study. What was once a flex became evidence. But that's not all. While the IRS flagged his accounts, Rozier's social feed refused to blink. New cars, diamond chains, a $60,000 watch unboxed on camera with a caption, "Still winning." Fans flooded comments calling it denial, but Rozier doubled down, posting another shot hours later from a Miami rooftop, champagne in frame, captioned "Pressure?" Never felt it. Behind the shine, the numbers didn't match. Insiders told reporters the lien had already frozen parts of his assets. Yet the spending didn't slow. Friends said it was pride, a refusal to let anyone smell weakness. Others thought it was a strategy, projecting wealth to stay valuable for brand deals while the legal fires burned behind the scenes. One clip went viral. Rozier stepping out of a matte black McLaren while news anchors discussed his lien live on air. The split screen became a meme. The IRS watching like. Fans joked, but the timing made it worse. Comment sections turned hostile. Every flex post became a reminder of how fast an image can decay when reality leaks through the cracks. Even former teammates started keeping a distance. One source said the locker room felt the tension. Rozier still acting untouchable while management whispered about liability optics. It wasn't arrogance. It was survival in motion. He wanted control of the narrative. Instead, the internet took it from him. Then it got even wilder. The shift came fast. 1 week after the lien went public, TMZ dropped what felt like the final blow. Rozier had been detained in connection with an illegal gambling investigation. Not a rumor. Not a leak. Actual arrest logs. His mugshot circulated within hours, and the internet's tone flipped from mockery to disbelief. Police reports outlined a late-night raid on a private poker suite in Miami. Sources close to the case claimed the FBI had been tracking the games for months, watching high-value players cycle through cash-heavy buy-ins and coded payments. Rozier, according to those documents, wasn't just a participant. He was allegedly one of the connectors, the guy who brought athletes into the fold. Fans didn't know what to believe. His name trending beside federal probe made it sound criminal, but details stayed blurry. Lawyers issued a single statement. Mr. Rozier maintains his innocence. Then silence. No apology video. No PR cleanup. Just vanishing. What broke the calm were screenshots. Private texts leaked from a group chat allegedly tied to the poker nights. Mentions of League eyes and stay low. Nothing verified, but enough to ignite the narrative that Rozier's world had officially imploded. Reporters said the NBA had already been briefed before the arrest went public. They waited for confirmation before moving. That move came fast, and it was brutal. But that's not all. The league didn't hesitate. Within 24 hours of the arrest hitting national outlets, Rozier's status changed from active to leave without pay. No suspension notice. No disciplinary hearing. Just an internal memo citing conduct review pending federal inquiry. Translation: he was done until further notice. Behind closed doors, insiders said the commissioner's office had been tracking the situation for weeks. Once the gambling link hit verified status, they cut ties to protect the brand. Marketing teams were ordered to erase Rozier's image from every digital asset. His jersey vanished from official stores overnight. Sponsors moved even faster. Luxury fashion collabs froze their campaigns. A sneaker company scrubbed his name from upcoming drops. Public statements stayed neutral, reviewing developments. But industry voices called it what it was: abandonment before contamination. Fans noticed the silence from the team. No statement, no empathy post. Just a void. Former players privately told reporters the NBA was terrified of another betting scandal touching the league's reputation. Rozier became a firewall, sacrificed early to contain fallout. His camp tried to frame it as temporary. He's cooperating fully. But those words felt hollow against the optics, unfollowed by teammates, erased by sponsors, and stripped of salary. It wasn't discipline. It was a deletion. Then it got even darker. Once Rozier's name surfaced in the FBI betting probe, attention shifted to what those poker nights really were. Not casual games. Not barbershop bragging sessions. These were invitation-only suites, cash-heavy, guarded, and running well past midnight inside luxury condos. Reports claim the buy-ins touched six figures. Every player vetted. Every table is wired with private security. Sources close to the investigation said Rozier wasn't the mastermind, but the magnet. The athlete who could pull names big enough to make the games feel untouchable. Rumors suggest the tables attracted music execs, retired players, and two casino owners now facing federal charges. What tied Rozier to the fallout wasn't proof, but a pattern. Wire transfers from shell LLCs, matching timestamps and camera footage placing him at 2 raids. He was never charged for organizing, but the optics screamed leadership. An unnamed league source told ESPN that Rozier was playing too close to fire, implying they'd warned him months before. He brushed it off, reportedly calling it a side hustle, not a scandal. That quote aged badly. Fans online turned detective, digging through past clips showing Rozier casually referencing table nights and pressure hands. Nobody thought much of it then. Now every line looked like foreshadowing. The mystery wasn't just whether he played. It was who else sat beside him. And that's when loyalty started cracking. Once the betting probe hit mainstream coverage, Rozier's circle collapsed almost instantly. The same teammates who hyped his tunnel fits and reposted his highlights went silent. Unfollows started stacking. The locker room group chat, once constant noise, went dark. Sources inside the team said it wasn't anger. It was fear. Nobody wanted their name near the investigation. Reporters asked players directly about Rozier. Blank faces. No comment. One veteran muttered, he knew what he was doing. That clip looped on social media for days. It wasn't a confirmation, but it sounded close enough. Privately, insiders claimed the trust had already eroded before the arrest. Missed meetings. Excuses about travel. Rumors that he owed money to someone inside the team's circle. Nothing verified, but whispers turned into distance. Even his closest allies, guys who used to defend him on air, quietly deleted old posts. The image of brotherhood in pro sports cracked open. Everyone was protecting their own brand. Rozier had become radioactive. Coaches stopped mentioning him in film sessions. Media staff deleted preset quotes from press releases. It was as if he'd been erased from the roster overnight. And the silence said more than any statement could. But the fallout still wasn't done. Terry Rozier built his reputation on defiance. The kid who turned a backup role into a brand. The one who dropped 30 on national TV and turned it into a nickname, a shoe deal, and a cult following. For years, he was the blueprint for the self-made scorer, gritty, unapologetic, sharp-dressed, marketable. But when the headlines flipped, all that self-made energy became ammunition. Clips that once looked like confidence started reading like foreshadowing. Every quote about betting on myself, every flex post about taking risks. Fans recut his highlights into downfall montages, pairing his dunks with arrest footage and IRS reports. It wasn't journalism. It was digital demolition. Analysts tried to defend his game, saying the league was too quick to exile him. But the numbers didn't matter anymore. His name wasn't trending for basketball, it was trending for everything else. Sponsors ghosted. PR teams moved on. The league found its next story. Rozier was left frozen in algorithmic amber. His rise, fall, and silence looping through feeds like a cautionary glitch. Even his comeback hints, see you soon captions, vague story posts fell flat. The audience had already decided what narrative they wanted. And once the internet names your ending, it's almost impossible to rewrite it. Then came the final silence. By the time the cameras turned away, Rozier had stopped speaking. No statements. No apologies. Just a blank profile photo and locked comments. The silence felt deliberate, like he'd finally run out of versions to perform. The league moved on, the sponsors scrubbed his name, and fans shifted focus to the next scandal. But the wreckage stayed visible, a paper trail of money, pride, and bad timing. The IRS lien became a headline. The arrest became a meme. The suspension became a footnote in a season highlight reel. That's how fast relevance flips in sports. The applause lasts seconds, the fallout lasts forever. Behind the brand and the chain and the luxury gloss was just another player trying to hold a lifestyle bigger than his balance sheet. And when the system came collecting, it didn't knock. It kicked the door in. No redemption arc. No moral. Just the quiet end of a man who thought he was untouchable. Until every number, every friend, and every bet said otherwise. And that's how fast it all collapsed. From the court to court filings. If you want the real stories the headlines skip, hit subscribe, like, and share. Control+ style stays where the stories burn hottest.